Am I going to win Big Sugar? Let's face it, probably not. Am I even going to finish? Well, I guess we're going to find out.
This is my wife Chloe, and for the last 6 months she has been riding and training with the help of Humango, an artificial intelligence training platform, to take on the toughest event of her life, Big Sugar. We have flown over the Big Pond to the birthplace of gravel riding, the USA, more specifically Bentonville in the state of Arkansas, right in the middle of the Ozark Mountains. The course Chloe and myself are taking on is the 104-mile version with an elevation gain of almost 2,000 meters. We have 2 checkpoints along the route where we can stock up on food and drink, but other than that, we are heading into the unknown to see if beginner gravel rider Chloe can complete this race, and if so, where on earth will she finish?
Big Sugar is the last event within the Lifetime Grand Prix series and pretty much wraps up the 2023 gravel race season. But with the likes of newly crowned gravel world champion Kasia Nieuwedoma racing, it's still very much an all guns blazing race. But this video isn't really about me.
Ahead of my first ever gravel race, I do feel nervous. Just the anticipation of what's to come ahead of us. But yeah, mostly excited. I can't wait to get stuck in.
Chloe and I have got 2 absolutely mega bike setups to use thanks to the support of the kind people at Lauf and Forge and Bond wheels. And I'll tell you more about our bikes later on, because seeing as this is an actual race, we need to go and get signed on. Oh wow!
Ride or not fail.
After signing on, it was time to get our feet up, fuel up our bodies, and get an early night, as the alarms were set for 4:30 a.m.
Feeling good?
I don't know.
We're probably like an hour and a half out.
Yeah.
All we need to do is go, get changed, get sorted, last minute toilet stop.
Yeah. If I'm going to need like 10 wee stops.
Stash our pockets full of bars and shells.
Yeah.
We haven't got anything else to do.
No.
Smile, be happy, enjoy it.
Yeah.
Make sure we eat and drink.
Yeah. Easy.
Sounds easy when we do it like that.
Yeah.
Just ride.
Yeah.
What are you feeling?
I feel a bit calm. I feel calmer now. I felt a bit sick when I first woke up. Rolling up to the start line, you could really feel the atmosphere starting to build. Everyone was getting ready in their pen, trying to find their space.
Chloe's rolling the route up. Final prep in terms of who's going where, what's happening. It's getting real.
I was actually just really looking forward to like starting and just getting on the bike and going.
Chloe, we're a few minutes out. We better get on our bikes, get dialed in. We better put our game faces on.
Yeah.
It's business time.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
The start of the race was mad. We had a police rollout, which was so exciting. My adrenaline was going, my heart was pumping so fast. All these people around us trying to get in position. Alex even made us like ride right up to the front. So we saw the front of the race for a short while. But I was just really excited to get on the gravel and get going. When we first hit the gravel, it was chaos. There was people everywhere. It was so dusty you could barely see in front of you. Everyone was trying to find their spot in the race, rocks flying everywhere. I just tried to stay calm, but we were going pretty fast. We were trying to stay with the front group for as long as we could.
Sailed in now, clothes tucked in behind me. The hustle and bustle of the race start is just starting to fade out. We're lining out into little groups. The sun's coming up. We're in for one hell of a day. So, Chloe's struggling to eat on the bike. It's pretty tough with all the bits of gravel, change of terrain, the pace. Eating now is what's going to fuel her to the end.
I just find it really hard to eat.
Yeah?
I've got to eat, but I'm not remotely hungry. Force feeding food down you is not fun on gravel, but it's good in terms of the actual riding.
What's the atmosphere? What's the vibe? Feelings?
Yeah. Amazing, everyone's really happy and supportive.
Yeah.
And yeah, gravel's really good. I like times like this. A bit gradual,
Yeah.
not too gravelly. So there's ones back there that were like steep, but like really like thick gravel that you can't really get a proper line in.
Yeah.
I struggle with.
Well, this one's pretty much over now. Nice little downhill. One of our major climbs of the day, I think that was. Or at least it looks it on the profile. 1 hour, 45 minutes down. Or in, you know what I mean. Play first speed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rack bikes up.
Yeah, that actually went way quicker than I thought.
You've got so much dust on your nose.
It's gravel.
Having reached the first checkpoint, we headed off to restock our supplies for the miles ahead. And while I do that, let me tell you a little bit more about our bikes.
So we're using the Sigla from Lauf, which is an Icelandic brand, and they've been in the game of making gravel bikes pretty much ever since gravel has been a thing. And what kicked that all off was this absolutely nuts looking fork. It's called the Grit. This is actually the 3rd generation of the fork, and it provides around 30 millimeters of vibration absorbing travel and suspension at the front of your bike. Lauf say this design is ideal for the high frequency vibrations that you get when you're riding over gravel. Not only is it helping improve the comfort that you get, they also say it's going to speed you up and increase the traction too. Comfort and compliance is a theme which Lauf continue through the frame and up at the handlebars with something called ICE. This stands for Integrated Compliance Engineering, in case you didn't speak Lauf. They say their smoothie handlebar offers twice the compliance as what other carbon handlebars do. And then at the seat tube area at the back, the ICE that's implemented there is allowing for up to 15 millimeters of flex and compliance under full load when you're going over the rough stuff. Now, following on with that idea that making your bike comfortable and compliant helps make it faster, the guys at Forge and Bond have hooked us up with their 25 GR wheels. Now, the way that they're going around approaching the idea of comfort and compliance for speed is through their fusion fiber technology in the carbon fiber wheels. Not only is it going to help speed us up, but it also has an environmental impact too, because it uses long chain nylon polymers instead of the traditional epoxies and resins which are used in your traditional carbon fiber manufacturing. Forge and Bond say this allows the wheels to absorb impacts through microscopic flexing in those carbon fibers. It also means that when these wheels come to the end of their usable life, they can then be recycled into new forged carbon fiber parts, not just once, but multiple times over. Unfortunately, They can't be recycled into a brand new set of wheel rims though. Now, I know I've only briefly spoken about some of the setup of our bikes. We've also got some bags holding all our snacks and spares, big water bottles so that we don't get dehydrated and thirsty. But there are far more exciting details and bits of information and tech to go through, so much so that over on the GCN Tech channel, I'm going to have a video where I go into a full deep dive on the whole kit and the setup that is hopefully going to allow us to get to the finish line. So go and check that out.
Coming up to the first feed zone at mile 38, I was actually feeling really good. The time had gone really quick, quicker than I was expecting, which gave me a bit of a morale boost. We were riding pretty hard in some bits, and I was like, I need to just chill this out. Alex had been telling me, reminding me to keep eating. I was kind of struggling already at that point to get enough food down. I'm really trying to eat.
Bring it back to me. It's my only one. Once you're done,
I feel good. But eating is making me feel sick. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I'm not hungry, which I guess is a good thing. And I'm having to eat every half hour, but I'm just really trying to force food down you is not very nice.
It's the same thing.
And I'm trying to have something savoury. Well, banana, and I've got some Doritos. I'm trying to drink some water.
Let me just see. Oh yeah,
because when we get back on the bike, it'll be bars, chews, gels, so all quite sweet.
It all jumbles together in my brain.
Just trying to take my time and not rush. I think if I rush, it's going to make it worse. I just wasn't feeling hungry, but I knew how important it was. So I was looking forward to having a bit of a break from the bike, having something savoury, just taking a minute to reset. Feed zone 1 completed, on to the next.
You win the prize for best jersey of the race. Thanks. That's a big one. Good job.
The first few miles after the feed zone, we were on a real high and feeling really good, but that feeling was short-lived.
Hello?
I literally just feel sick. What's wrong with me? I feel like I'm making a drama over nothing here. Just struggling to eat.
That's okay. It's just one of these things to overcome. Like, we can just keep chipping away.
Struggling a bit. It's just my eating, I can't. Yeah, it's hot. But I'm trying to be positive. Halfway. But yeah, can't lie. I'm finding it a little bit difficult. What I've learned from this race is that there's going to be lots of highs and lots of lows. And that's the same for everyone. I think having the support of Alex really helped me to bounce back from my lows.
We're smashing it so far, Chloe. We're at the stage where, everyone's going to find it tough.
Yeah.
Don't think that it's just you find it tough. Everyone is.
That's true. Everyone's so nice, aren't they? Friendly. And
everyone's put a brave face on it.
We stopped just back there to have something to eat, and everyone's like, "You're right. Do you need anything?" So
yeah,
that's good. So as I started to bounce back, we actually made up loads of good time on a load of the sections. We actually overtook loads of people. We were on a roll. Don't tell me we've got right back up there. Until progress was halted.
I did curse it. I've got a puncture. Well, I guess that's where it is.
You go to fix it as well?
Yeah, just got to find it. There he is. Yeah. Back in the game.
With over 5 months worth of training complete, the hard work was done, but there's still time for some last minute tips and advice for Chloe from none other than current gravel world champion Kasia Nefiadoma.
I think that, yeah, there's no point of stressing because I feel like everyone comes here just like wanting to experience the gravel scene, me included. I just want to soak it up. And I feel like definitely you want to make sure that after the finish line you feel like, oh, I gave my best, whether it's like for 10th or 50th or 150th position, whatever, but as long as you know that you had fun and you gave your best, I feel like it's the biggest achievement. And also I would say that, you know, crashing or puncturing is a part of the game, and
that does worry me a bit.
But
crashing.
But you know, like we all crash so many times, and at the end of the day, you have a cool story to tell. You know?
It's true.
It might hurt, but then it's not a big deal, you know.
So have you felt better than since the last stop?
I did struggle for a bit after that. But then, then like got through it and came round. And I've been feeling really good the last like hour and a half.
Right, we got this, come on. These are some incredible views. Look at that. Open stuff. So open. Absolutely beautiful. We are genuinely flying. We've come out of the second feed zone in good shape. Chloe's gone through a bad patch. We're on a good run again now. So make hay while the sun shines, as they say.
Rolling out of the second feed with 30 miles to go, and it was at this point that I think it both clicked and we were like, we're gonna do this and we're gonna finish strong. We'd actually ridden really smart the whole race. We hadn't started off too fast or too hard. We'd preserved enough energy to make sure that we were gonna enjoy the last bit of the race.
Maybe for the last time.
She won't know I'm saying this, but she's so much better than she ever will realise. How do you get someone to realise they're quite good at cycling? I don't know.
To be dancing up in the air. Will you hold my hand when we fall? I don't think I dare.
The secret racer inbuilt in Chloe is starting to come out now. 15 miles. No, 12 miles to go. And Chloe's going, come on, more. Let's go faster. Push on. I think we're gonna get this thing done in under 7 hours. Come on, let's do this.
Oh, before you go,
Coming into the finish straight, it just suddenly hit me that like we'd done it together. I was just really proud of myself. And I was just feeling really grateful to have this opportunity to do this. It was incredible. And having Alex by my side was like an amazing feeling. There's not many people that could say they could do that with their other half. And it was, you know, really also down to Alex that got me to the finish. I couldn't have done it without him. I was feeling really emotional.
I feel like we've truly captured the spirit of gravel.
Yeah, the spirit of gravel is like, well, like literally it's for anyone. Anyone can do it. You can ride anything, like any age. There was people on tandems, people on single speeds.
Yeah. So all in all, 104 miles, 7 hours, 1 puncture, a few shed tears, but we've had a smile on our face the whole way around.
We enjoyed it. Like, we took it in.
Right. And on that note, huge thanks to everyone that we saw out on the course, that shouted, cheered. I hope everyone's had a brilliant day. And big shout out to the support we've had from Lau, Forge and Bond, and Humango for keeping us fit, strong and healthy and getting us under that sub 7 hour mark.
Got us to this point.
If you want to see more details about our bikes, kit and all the setup, head over to GCN Tech. But otherwise, please let us know in the comments section down below.
And please, like, if you're thinking about doing a challenge, if you're thinking of pushing yourself out your comfort zone, like, do it, please. And let me know.
Yeah, share it in the comments how proud everyone is of Chloe. Right, we're going to go get a beer. I love you.
All right, well, you get all the attention. One more round of applause, Chloe Pack.
There's been people going down left, right and centre.
Still going, guys.
Going through a real bad patch, if I'm totally honest. I'm cracked. Earlier this year, I accidentally entered an ultra endurance race. I mean, it was done so casually. A quick message on Instagram, and boom, there it was, my name added to the start list. Now, as time went on, my entry seemed to be an increasingly bad idea. However, by that point, I'd mentioned it to Shimano, who thought it sounded great and wanted to make it happen, because with their GRX group set, this kind of thing is right up their street. So, I couldn't really back out anymore.
And so it is that I'm less than 24 hours away from what is almost undoubtedly going to be the hardest thing I've ever attempted on a bike. 400 miles, 640 kilometers, self-supported on a mix of road and gravel. The clock will not stop until I reach the finish line, if I can reach the finish line. And if I'm completely honest, no matter which way I look at this, I cannot quite work out how I'm going to be able to finish. Anytime I got to the end of a 200-mile ride before this, I've been completely and utterly ruined, and it's not escaped my notice that that is only half of the distance here. Now, I am mildly terrified, but also incredibly excited about this. I've not been able to think of anything else for the last couple of weeks, almost literally. As you can see, I've got all the equipment I could possibly wish for. I could just probably do with a few last words of wisdom.
Hey, Ty.
Hey Mark, how you doing?
I'm doing good. What are you up to?
Well, I've done something a bit stupid, if I'm honest, mate. I've entered a 400-mile unsupported bike race, and I honestly haven't got a clue what I'm going to do or how I'm going to finish it. So I thought maybe you could give me some tips.
I can confirm your concerns. It is a lot harder. It is next level hard. My top recommendation is to ride on map, not on data, because otherwise you're just going to stare at those numbers and you're going to be going, why can't I ride faster? I was recently told a brilliant line, which I tried to remember throughout GB Duro, which was, ultra endurance gravel races are never won at lunchtime. So when the sun is shining, you feel good. That's not the time that you win or lose. It's in the graveyard shift. It's when everyone's tired. So those first miles in the middle of the day, that's kind of the bit that will take care of itself. It's the grittier end when you're, sleep deprived and you're trying to push on through. That's what really sort of splits the field. The top of your decision-making matrix is, I'm going to do this safely. I'm going to get through without having a crash or an injury. And then below that, I am going to finish. And then realize that there's points in a 400 miler, you're just not going to be in a happy place. But that's not a reason not to finish.
What I'm most nervous about is I'll actually see what I'm made of in this. All those times when I've watched you doing stuff, and Hank recently, and Jenny, of course, and then now I'm actually going to see whether I can do it.
You've got this, buddy. You've got it. Remember, top of the list, stay safe. Middle, you will finish. Right at the bottom is try and have some fun along the way. But first and foremost, stay safe and get to the end.
Great stuff. Thanks, Mark, as always, mate.
The race, further east, is the brainchild of Camille McMillan, a photographer, a cyclist, and a part-time sadist. The route comes from former Transcontinental winner Josh Ibbott, himself also a sadist and a masochist too, because he's racing this event as well. Now, it starts near Cambridge, a few miles north of London, here in the UK, and then carves its tortuous 400-mile line around much of East Anglia, touching the North Norfolk coast, and then back to the starting point. Camille was keen to stress that this is a relaxed, grassroots event. The race start is in a wood, and you're not allowed to drive there.
There we go, pre-race accommodation sorted. I'm not going to take this tent with me. I just didn't fancy bivvying out the night before a 400-mile bike ride. But sleep is a really good point, actually. Tomorrow, the fast riders won't. Basically, it will just be a 30-hour bike ride. Just. The question is, do I feel confident enough putting myself in that bracket? Because if I don't, that's going to have implications about what I have to take. A sleeping bag, a bivvy bag, and so forth. The answer is actually that I just don't know. I do not know whether I'm capable of going through the night. I have no way of knowing because I've never done it before. So this is a proper adventure. Might take my aero bars off and fashion another tent pole just to make it slightly bigger. Oh, that's actually not bad when you're in here. Don't know which GCM presenter used this last, but it's got a certain hum to it.
And I'd probably advise stopping and topping up with enough food if you plan to ride through the night by about 7 o'clock. Because there's lots of shops, there's loads of supply, but quite a few of them are small village shops, and they kind of shut early, so don't get
You have arrived.
Right, it's nearly game time. I think it was about 30-ish people have signed on. They all look remarkably normal, so I don't quite know how this has become superhuman and ride through the night, but we'll see. We're going to go turn in for the night, get an early one, leave the campfire. It'll be very boring.
Right then, here we go. Ready to rock and roll. It's 4:54. This is the remains of Camp Richardson. And yeah, there's no hiding it. Just tried to have some breakfast. I feel really a bit nauseous. I think that's nerves, or it could be the fact that it's 5 to 5 and I don't really want to be up and awake. But it's a beautiful day. It's mild, and I'm about to ride 400 miles of brilliant terrain. So I've got to be excited at that. Okay, let's get going.
That first section in the dark down that bit of greasy single track down the Roman road, and there were just noises everywhere. I was just completely disoriented, and people sort of like slipping off because it was greasy and whatever else. Anyway, once we got out of that and the sun came up, then it was great. Cambridge. Here we go. This is mad. It just feels like I've gone abroad. This isn't the UK. This is like, my world shrunk so much that this now feels like the most exotic place I've been to in 18 months. Right, first stopping off point. No idea where I am, but this village shop has just sorted me out with some more water, which is cool. Felt a bit weird stopping and saying goodbye to my group, well, which was actually just me and a very nice chap who, I don't think I ever got his name actually. Anyway, enough jibber jabber. I need to crack on again. Say, it's incredibly beautiful around here. I feel very lonely all of a sudden and a bit daunted again. It was so nice cruising along, meeting and chatting to a new group of people, and then here I am now on my Todd, having stopped early for some water, and I don't know, it's exciting. I might be a little bit lonely, but I feel so incredibly fortunate to be here. I know that sounds a bit knobby, but I do. And I'm going to try and hold on to this moment for as long as possible and remember it at 4 in the morning. This is me conquering my fears, ladies and gentlemen. These are Britain's most dangerous animal. Rich, dancing on the pedals, and I am, well, I'm bricking it quite frankly. One of them actually mooed at me in a very aggressive manner. And, well, I don't take kindly to being mooed at. Particularly when I can't do any full gas efforts and escape. But I think I might have got away with it this time. Freaking cows. Tempted to stop being a vegetarian. Roll again. Smash and grab number 2, 11s is. I didn't mean to get that. Plus, that dodgy white powder, remember, is the end of it. That was a stupid bag to put in, wasn't it? We've not had an update for a little while. Been ticking the kilometres down. I haven't been looking at how far I've done or how far to go as per recommended, but fatigue's creeping in, if I'm totally honest. I'm really hungry. I've been eating and drinking, but definitely getting ready for some kind of lunch. In terms of an update on, dare I say it, the competitive aspect, turns out we got a slightly bit of misleading info. There is one rider ahead of us. When I say us, that there is my main man Rich, who we've just been chatting away happily for the last goodness knows how many kilometres, and we're making an effective team right now. So struck up an alliance, and there's definitely a sense of security after I stopped earlier, and fortunately I managed to catch back up on a flat bit of road using my aero bars. Right then, I just smashed and grabbed found some more gluten-free pita breads, which is fantastic because I lost my second pack somewhere before Cambridge at 5:30. But anyway, it's all good. I'd actually earmarked this spot. It's from a place called Harold's, 190k in. I'd earmarked it because there's a fish and chip shop over there for dinner, basically. And we got here at second lunchtime, which is flipping amazing. I'm absolutely delighted. And as you can tell by my hurrying, I've got into the competitive spirit. So I'm now. Oh God, it's awful. We've just had a really slow 20k, like in some kind of like maze of fields with like, oh God, took a wrong turn, ended up in a ploughed field. It was bloody annoying. But anyway, game on. We're here now. And yeah, this is cool. Right, this is bloody great, this is. Rapid average speed has plummeted as we're inching our way around a field. You know, I set off today and I was like, I'm gonna leave it in the big ring all day because it's flat. And I have been in my 31 little ring more often than I care to remember. But that said, there's a lot of fast stuff and it's been nice sticking it in the 48 and just rolling along. But yeah, right now, just trying to make progress. I'm gonna put the camera away now. Aero bar update. Going through a real bad patch, if I'm totally honest. This is really tough. I think Rich is in the same kind of place. Still putting the same effort in, but just not going anywhere near as fast. The trails have been slow, the road's slow, just it's a big old headwind. I just had some salt and vinegar crisps to try and reset my stomach a little bit because I just didn't fancy eating anything else. Yeah. I'm pushing my bike up a hill. I mean, it's a very steep hill. But still, didn't expect that today.
It's kind of like I think of it like time trials in the old days, like hundreds of years ago when they all used to wear alpaca, and it's all a bit. So it's a spirited group ride that's tracked with spot trackers, bringing in a looser idea of what bike riding can be. I want to sort of like break away from categories like this is mountain biking, this is gravel riding, this is road racing. They're all bikes. Let's just ride bikes and enjoy riding bikes.
Feel the weight. I think there's about 4 kilos of chips, the large mushy peas. I'm so glad that last bit was fast, but I am kicking myself that I didn't get any liquid beforehand. What a noob, basically. What a noob. So, do you mind if I eat my chips? potato any day. You can see it's getting kind of dusky now, so my thoughts are very much dominated by what's about to come, nighttime. So I packed a lot more than everyone else. I packed a sleeping bag and a bivvy bag and a warm jacket, and so that was my saddle bag basically, and not that many other people had it. I didn't want to be that guy that was overconfident in my abilities and then came unstuck and didn't finish. I had to scratch at 4 AM with hypothermia and stuff. So that was why I thought it was a good idea to just give me the best possible chance of finishing. But I hadn't made up my mind about whether or not I was gonna bivvy out. I was quite interested to try and go for 24 hours. I just want to see what happens as much as anything. I don't want to tell myself I'm gonna stop. I want to see if I can do it. And then if I can't, I have a lovely sleeping bag to curl up in. And I tell you what, unless the scenery changes dramatically, this is it's campsite heaven around here. There's hedges, there's soft grass, the amazing. You'll wake up to a breakfast of blackberries. Oh, not to mention cheese pitters. Oh yeah. What's up?
There you go.
See you later, guys. And to begin with, it was great. It was a really warm evening. We were riding around Rutland, which is this kind of very gentle English county. It was all very safe. Oh my word. I'm so discombobulated. But still moving. Yeah. Water. There's these like savage sections up on the dikes where it's really slow, bumpy grass. And that was the point at which, after the first one of those, I really felt like it had taken it out of me. And then I got tired, I started yawning and things. We caught Josh at that point, that perked me up a bit, gave me something to kind of, I don't know, it wasn't like I was actively chasing him, I just felt better when we caught him. And then we went through King's Lynn where there were a load of street lights, and that made me feel better. And then I think at that point though, I'd sort of made the decision in my head that I was going to sleep. Right, I don't suppose you can see anything, but hopefully you can hear me. It's currently 3 AM, got 460 kilometres on the clock. That's the sea. This is Hunstanton, and yes, we're riding through it at 4 in the morning. I'm out of my tree right now. I have covered 300 miles, which is ridiculous. Not ridiculous good, ridiculous, just ridiculous. I mean, why would you do that? Anyway, Josh is carrying on because he's going to do 400 miles. But I need to stop I'm going to curl up in a sleeping bag for a little bit. Basically, I've let myself get cold. I haven't drunk enough. I haven't eaten enough. I just completely shut down, and I'm really sore. I'm cozy. My legs are literally like shaking, which I don't think is a good sign. Anyway, I'm gonna have something to drink and then get my head down. Night night. Hello. It's 6 o'clock. And I really, really should get up. And I will. It's freaking cold. I cannot tell you how much better I feel than just 2.5 hours ago. The sun's up, I've got some power back in my legs, not much, but more, and this is just absolutely magical. Very interestingly about maths, I reckon if I'm going 5k an hour faster, then actually I can make that time back between now and the finish. The question is how much of a lift everyone else has got from the fact that the sun's come up, and in fact, can I sustain this pace? But it's weird, it's so weird. I might be feeling better, but I'm obviously completely ruined. There was a couple out, dot watchers, and I've got me going again. I was like, oh, hello. And I turned away and just started welling up. I don't know why. I think it's just a sign of being on the edge. But yeah, what a roller coaster. What a roller coaster. Cracked. I'm gonna have a cheese sandwich. I've just been riding down this. We've got that to go. And yeah, I just need to have a sit down. So I thought I'd make myself useful, make a cheese sandwich, take my hat off, that kind of jazz. So there we go. My God, this is brilliant. Right, I've got to go. Some YouTube gold there. So one of the lessons that I'd learnt from the previous day was if you think you need to stop and you see somewhere, I better go, just stop, because you never know when the next one's coming. So I saw somewhere, I went, and then I need to stop. And I was like, no. So I stopped, and it was this little cafe, and so I I had to fill up both my bottles, and then I thought, well, you know, I'll buy a coffee, I'll treat myself to a coffee. I needed a treat. Well, no, to start with, actually, I just needed some water. Now, when I went into the cafe, emotions was clearly still running high. Nearly had a little cry when ordering my special treat, which is a coffee, and an enormous bag of pick-me-ups. It's not many of crisps. Right, nearly done. And then the final thing is I remembered that I had packed headphones, so I never ever ride with music. Never. I've never done it. And but I was like, I think it could be good. So I packed headphones and made up a really rubbish playlist of songs that I would never normally listen to, but I figured might hit the spot. You've got to fly like an eagle. Oh yeah. Mama. Ooh. I see a little silhouette of a Scaramouche, will you do the fandango? Love is brilliant, love is pure. This is how ruined I am. I got tears streaming down my face, listening to James Blunt. Crikey, I don't think I'd ever better do this again. And I don't just mean listening to James Blunt. Hey, check this out. This is my crisp dispenser. I got a giant bag of salt vinegar crisps down there. Cheers, Camille. Pleasure.
And so it was that I did indeed manage to finish further east, all 398 miles of it, in a time of 33 hours, 13 minutes and 6 seconds, of which 27 hours, 52 minutes were spent moving. The rest was faffing, getting water, eating, and an hour and 45 minutes of it was spent sleeping under a hedge. Now, incredibly though, I didn't just actually manage to finish further east, I also finished third. The winner, Neil Phillips, tore around the course and won with a comfortable margin, and indeed finished in time for breakfast on Saturday morning. Josh Ibbott stayed well clear and took second place, and Rich Rothwell, the man that I had spent much of day one riding with, had a GPS malfunction almost literally within sight of the finish line and ended up doing a second lap, and so I snuck through for third place. But I am as surprised as you are.
Can we go where cars can't and where a ferry or a helicopter is advised?
The mission is, can we get to the most remote pub in the UK? My question is, who put a pub here?
It's getting gnarlier and gnarlier. This is proper remote. this is a proper challenge, even though it's just a day. I mean, I could see why we got warned that this wasn't to be taken lightly. Still a long way to go, man. To the pub. Our journey starts here in Scotland, home to world record holder, but more importantly, good friend Mark Beaumont. The UK's most remote pub is located in Inverie, a small coastal town in the Scottish Highlands, and thanks to Yolio and Gore, we are headed there for a pint. To get there, we are taking a route we have never seen undertaken by bike, starting at Fort William and traversing through the legendary Neudark Peninsula. At only 75 kilometres, how hard can it be? We set off on the 4-hour journey up to Fort William, where our adventure would begin. We found a hotel and got some sleep, ready for an early start. Chilly start and an early morning, isn't it, Mark?
Yeah, I think the early start will pay off, though, because it's a bit of an unknown as to how long this is going to take. So right now, we're by the sea. This is in the Highlands on the beautiful west coast of Scotland, and this is Loch Eel. We've got the highest mountain in Scotland, shrouded in cloud behind us, and the first bit looks pretty straightforward, following the Caledonian Canal as if we were heading up towards Inverness. But then after about 20k, head off into the rough stuff. And the Neudark Peninsula has quite a reputation. I've never been there before, so I think we should get going.
Yeah, it's going to be a long day, and that's, I guess, why we've packed a lot on the bikes as well, because we just don't know how long it's going to take us and if we're going to be staying the night. So we've got bivvy bag, sleeping bag, etc., etc. But more on that a little bit later, and it's about time we hit the road, the gravel.
Let's do it.
You got it.
This is the start of a good adventure, isn't it, mate? No complaints. We've got a headwind, but it's nothing. It's nothing, honestly. Neudark is legendary in Scotland, so, you know, I can't help that this is lulling us into a false sense of security. It's so utterly beautiful going up the Caledonian Canal. This is not the sort of scenery where you want your bike computer beep, 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 beeping at you. So we both turned our notifications off and went the wrong direction. So can't blame our wahoos, but they were screaming at us if we hadn't turned off notifications. But can you blame us? Look at it, absolutely great. This road happens to run out, and we're now going to have to do a U-turn. So yeah, there's a cautionary tale in there somewhere. Beautiful scenery, slightly distracting. We might have gone the wrong way.
What's an adventure like getting lost?
Well, we're getting on for about halfway in terms of distance, but I don't think we're anywhere close to halfway on time. This is the first bit of tarmac, albeit probably one of the smallest roads you'd find in the UK. So far, we've been treated to gravel along the Caledonian Canal, some amazing single track, which was a bit of a surprise. So really needing bikes that can cover pretty much any terrain.
Yeah, now the bikes we're using, the Yolio G21s. We've also got their very own brand Yolio carbon rims as well. Mark's riding 2x, I'm running 1x. And then we've got some 45mm gravel tyres. But I'm going to explain more of the detail of this very bike in a tech video, as well as the clothing we're wearing. We're not wearing our GCN kit. No, Gore have sent out some of theirs. And so we're pretty excited to get wearing it. And also I'm going to go into the technicalities of that very kit in that video. But for now, I think we're going to enjoy some of the nice smooth asphalt.
So we're skirting alongside, you can't quite see because of the trees here, Loch Askeig. And, you know, whilst as soon as we left Fort William, we were definitely leaving the last big town, the bit that we're heading into now really is one of the most remote parts of the British Isles. The road literally runs out in about 20 k's time and we'll be onto the off-road walking route, really. And if you think out there's over 200 islands in the west coast, so we're still very much on the mainland, but you just forget, even without leaving the mainland, how utterly wild it can get. And you know, I think that's why so few people ever bring their bikes here. We're well into it now, and at some point up here, the film crew are going to have to leave us because there is no road, there is no way to get the car in. So the fact that we can film this, amazing, but from some point up the road here, we're going to be on our own.
And that's where it gets all exciting.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Look at this view, I mean, freaking paradise. So this, my friend,
that's the end of the road,
is where the road ends and the hike begins, or the track. Now, it has to be said, we have taken proper precautions because we are going into the wilderness where it gets even more remote than where we've just been.
So even planning a day ride like this, we've opted, as you should, to carry kit just in case the weather got gnarly, and we ended up a lot later than we planned. So out here in Scotland, we've got midgie nets. The insects can be bad. I don't think they'll be too bad with the wind today. We've brought a little sleeping bag, sleeping roll, and just a little tarp. Because do you know what? If you injured yourself or you had a major mechanical and you were stuck out in the hills there, it's just good to know that you got that backup plan. And there's no phone signal up here, so I'm even carrying a satellite phone, and the crew are going to be able to track us and see where we are. So, you know, it's a ton of fun until things go wrong and all that. So it's good to think ahead.
Yeah, and it's not just overnight kit we've got. We've also got plenty of clothing too, just in case we are, like Mark says, just stuck out longer than we would have liked.
So this road from here is normally a hiker's trail, and yeah, there's a couple of big passes before we get to the end of our day. On the map, it doesn't look very far. Let's find out.
Let's get it. Oh, this is where it gets gnarly, Mark. Mark? Yeah, it's getting gnarly.
This is the first big climb, 3.5 kilometers up. I mean, no complaints so far. We've got the world to ourselves, that's what it feels like.
Getting hard now. We've had to resort to walking. First big climb done. Woo. And now I know why everyone said it's gonna take, it could take 10 hours to do 20K. Because that is slow going. But nevertheless, it's good. I love it. So boggy. Look at that. Right, go on, get your foot out. Oh no! Still a long way to go, man. The route was incredible, taking our bikes over terrain that might be untouched by two wheels. Now, with all the epic scenery, it was really easy to forget that the riding needed our full concentration. No broken legs, we're good. We're good. It's getting late into the day now. The time is coming up to 7 o'clock. As you can see, the sun's going down behind me. And that is our trail. So it's a proper kind of hiker bike on the shoulder jobby, because there's no chance you can ride this. We are conscious that time is getting away from us, so we've still got about 13K of this to go. I mean, I could see why we got warned that this wasn't to be taken lightly, because it's tough to bring bikes here. This is proper remote. This is a proper challenge, even though it's just a day. Look at that. Look forward to that beer. It now turned into a battle against the rapidly setting sun. Safely navigating in the dark just wasn't an option, so we had to keep moving.
Second to last pass. Down there, over that silhouetted mountain, and the pub awaits. It really doesn't look far. It doesn't look far on Wahoo, it doesn't look far in terms of that hill, but given what we've just been over the last 2-3 hours, I think we're going to be dark or pretty close to dark before we get there. It's nearly 9 o'clock at night, and it's going to be a beautiful sunset just over the back of the hill. We're not going to see it from down here, but hopefully get a drone up and capture that. So it's taken us about 4 hours to do the last 11 kilometers. Often carrying the bike, pushing the bike, bog, I mean, just some of the hardest terrain I've ever taken a gravel bike over. And it's about 15K from here. And the prospect of doing that in the dark, even with lights, is kind of next level. We knew it'd be gnarly, and we did plan for the worst, and it just shows you, it's unbelievable when you're out here. What an amazing day, but I didn't actually think we'd get stuck out.
What's going on, Hank?
I mean, it's got pretty gnarly. We're in the bogs, but we're cracking on.
What's the plan, mate?
So the plan is to find some water, find a stream,
and find somewhere to camp.
What would your, on a serious note, what would your disclaimer be on this route for anyone watching this?
I suggest you don't try this with a bike. That would be the disclaimer. Don't do this on your own, because it's proper in the middle of nowhere. It's gnarly.
So we have got to 10:30 and we're calling it a night. To be honest, I've massively underestimated this journey. I was along the road, traveling at 35k an hour with Mark, going, how on earth can it take us 9 hours? But let me tell you, the terrain that we've just tried to take our gravel bikes over has been one of the toughest terrains I think I've ever encountered. It's tough to walk across, let alone take a bike across. So we've kind of got to use our contingency. So we're going to camp here, we buy running water, we're going to cook some food, and then at the crack of dawn, we're going to head up the mountain. But let me tell you, this is biting off more than we can chew, I think.
We're cooking. We are cooking. And it's a nice mild night. We got food, we got a river, we got a breeze so we can keep the midges away. Life is good.
I mean, we couldn't be more in the wild if we tried.
Right, alarm for 5 o'clock.
Oh, I love an early morning, Mark.
I think this one's going to be quite... We've just got a mountain to climb in the morning, that's all.
That's all we got to do. No.
Good morning. It is 5 o'clock and time to get up and out. First thing, pack away and walk across the river.
So we've got about 6k more with hike a bike before we can get riding again. Luckily, we're all kitted up because it's pretty chilly this morning. So I've got my leg warmers, transition shorts, the long sleeve, my Gore-Tex jacket and my Gore-Tex trousers on, just to keep nice and warm.
Bike's packed up. The only job we've not done is put on these beauties. The first thing that we're going to do is walk across the river, so we're just going to get wet again, but grim.
Big mountain climb has started. It's quite a treacherous route.
And we've made it to the top. Oh, that was tough. So keep in mind we had an alarm call at 5 o'clock this morning. That's taken, by the time we packed up camp, 2.5 hours to get to this point. And you know, down. That's good news, but I mean, I think it's going to be another absolute epic.
Whilst Mark took the sensible option of walking, I was dying to get back on my bike.
I've had more crashes on this ride than any other ride I've ever been on. Made it down onto track. Yes, we can now ride to the finish. Thank God. To the pub for an early morning pint. How good does that feel? And there's the sea.
Woo-hoo! Hard fought, hard won. I genuinely thought it would be a really, really hard route. It was harder than that, and we took contingency to stay out because you always should, but you know, it didn't. I just thought, oh, we'll get over that hill. Not a chance. Here we are, 10 o'clock in the morning, day 2, rocking up. Neudarp Peninsula, you have delivered. It's been awesome.
And that's Inverie.
What a journey. The Old Forge Lodge, or Old Forge Pub, I should say.
We are very late for the planned pint. We're very early because it's not open yet.
No.
But well done, buddy.
Survived another adventure. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
I don't think I've ever worked quite so hard for such a short bike ride. If you look on a map, we've not gone very far. But from the canal riding up, following the loch, and then, of course, the epic double pass over the top. I mean, that is a walker's route. Let me remind you, a walker's route. We know that now.
It's definitely not a cyclist route. Massive thank you to Yolio for supplying us with their gravel bikes. Make sure you go and check out the tech video, and so you can see an in-depth look at the bikes. And also a massive thank you to Gore as well, who kitting us out in this epic gear.
We needed it more than we thought we would, because we ended up sleeping out in the wild.
Yeah, exactly that. Let us know in the comment section below if you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more of Mark and myself, and also give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Right, we need to shoot because we need to get a ferry.
We do.
See you later.
I don't think I've ever had to try so hard for a kilometre on a road bike in my life.
We're like 3 miles an hour up there?
Yeah. I think we've got 5k to go, Mark, until we get
back onto the main road.
The main road.
It's absolutely brutal. I remember this is tough.
Yeah.
But, you know, memories fade.
We have just ticked past 100 miles for the day, which means we have just ticked past halfway around the NC 500.
That's true, 250 miles.
Yeah.
But
not that much time left to get back to Inverness.
That is the heart locker, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, considering this is a 3-day challenge, and it's 20 to 5 on day 2, and we're halfway. Let's keep going.
You said it's all downhill with a tailwind from here, I think.
The north coast of Scotland is a beautiful, rugged wilderness that deserves to be on every cyclist's wish list of places to ride. And what better way to sample it could there be than by riding the North Coast 500, a route that starts and finishes in Inverness and then traces a sinuous line for 500 miles around the mountains and lochs of Scotland's north coast. It's an amazing adventure for intrepid cyclists. You could ride it over the course of a week, or perhaps 5 100-mile days, or if you get invited to ride it with the round-the-world record holder Mark Beaumont, 3. Yeah, 3 days. 500 miles in 3 days. For a slightly unhinged minority of you, that might actually not sound too bad. I mean, Mark's own record for the NC 500 is just 38 hours straight. But for me though, 3 days with that kind of mileage is a step into the unknown. And while one night's accommodation is a nice hotel, the other night is a hedge. If you can actually find any hedges on that exposed north coast. Right, Mark, talk me through it.
The plan is start from here, well, pretty close, Inverness Castle, and head west. This is all farmland. It all starts to get really beautiful as you hit the sea lochs on the west coast, and this is the bit that everyone talks about, the Biaknaba Applecross Pass.
So that's like the highest pass, the longest climb in the UK?
Yeah, it's, you know, those like UK cycling best climbs. I think it's been #1 forever. One of my favourite bits on the route is then coming up around Torridon.
Yeah.
Massive cliffs, you'll see it, it's beautiful. And then following the west coast around. So where we're trying to get to tomorrow night is here, Pool U.
Yeah.
A mellow 150 miles
150 miles.
To warm up.
Great.
And then crack on up the west coast. What I've done with the route, rather than following the traditional, the classic North Coast 500 route, I've deviated a little bit.
Okay.
Because there's some roads which the motorhomes and the cars typically don't go on because they're so small. But I think they're going to be perfect for cycling.
It does sound good.
And then we should, by the end of day 2, make it sort of halfway along the north coast of Scotland.
And that's where we're looking for a hedge?
Yeah. And it's, well, I mean, you joke, but it's so barren up there that there won't be many trees. If we find a hedge, we'll be doing well. I mean,
Okay.
It's properly windswept, empty. It depends how far along we make it, but from that point, you can just about start to see views over to Orkney.
Oh, wow.
And so you kind of know you're on the edge of Scotland.
Yeah, and then a casual 200 miles to finish.
Yeah, so, I mean, this was your idea. I'm going to put this one back on you.
Don't tell him that.
So we're going inland to begin with, and then these beautiful little roads, and then finishing off with a loop through what they call the Black Isle.
Oh, wow.
Back into Inverness.
That looks particularly cruel because we're within spitting distance of Inverness Castle, and then you've sent us off on another 20 miles.
Yeah, but you know, it's a 500-mile route, North Coast 500, and
you'd feel pretty cheated if you did the NC 480, wouldn't you? So yeah,
that was my biggest worry with all my biggest worry with the around the world, because you can't go back and do a few miles. Imagine you finish like 2 miles short. You got to do the distance.
That's a good point, actually. Well, we'll make sure we do the 500 miles. I cannot wait.
Yeah, it'll be awesome.
Genuinely cannot wait.
If you want to see the full Mark Beaumont route, there is a link to the GCN Komoot profile in the description. From there, you can download the GPX file.
Here we go then, nearly ready to roll out. The route is locked and loaded into my Wahoo up there. The screen is currently telling me that I've got 804.8 kilometres to go. So I don't know, be looking at that particular screen very much, certainly for the next couple of days. Now you notice that I'm not wearing my usual GCN cycling kit. I'm wearing Altura clothing instead. They've been a long-time supporter of Mark's, and they've extended that support for this trip as well. It's fair to say they've had to send quite a bit of stuff up to us, given that although the forecast is, touch wood, quite good for the next 3 days, this far north, at this time of year, anything could happen. In fact, there were snowstorms just last week, so it's fair to say I'm not packing light. Then lastly, before we roll out, you'll see that I'm riding a 3T Exploro as well. Now, we're currently in the middle of making a video about whether one bike can do it all, and so it seems fair to use that same bike for bikepacking as well as racing it on road and off. Right then, let's do it.
Well, it's early doors, and this is Inverness Castle, so the start of the North Coast 500 cycle route. And if all goes well, we'll be back here in 3 days.
Yeah, let's keep our fingers crossed for that, Mark. I think this might be my toughest challenge yet. Should we do it?
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Whoop whoop! 4.5 hours in.
About halfway, aren't we? Just under.
Half an hour, halfway through the day.
I think so. I've got 113 Ks on the clock.
Yeah. So we'll just, I don't know, take a quick break and then over the hill.
Yeah.
Probably not too much food with that climate.
No, I was going to say, let's do Mark Beaumont's schedule as opposed to Simon Richardson's schedule. Because mine seems to end up in trouble. Darkness.
Well, we said we needed a Mark Beaumont style lunch stop, and we did indeed get a Simon Richardson style lunch stop, so we're massively behind schedule.
it's 2 o'clock now, and we've got about 5 hours riding still to go, and we're at the base of this beast.
Yeah, its reputation goes before it. It's the Bikepacking, the Applecross Pass, and it's up from here. This is sea level, and the sun is shining. It's going to be a hot climb.
Yeah, I have got my legs out and my overshoes off, so it can't be all bad, eh? We're about halfway up Bikepacking now, and it's got to be said, this is absolutely breathtaking. I mean, it's a long old climb, isn't it? We've done a good few K, there's still a good few K to go, but I didn't think there were climbs like this in the British Isles. Amazing.
It's pretty steady for this valley section, and at the top it just steepens up around those switchbacks, and you could be anywhere in the Alps.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just the landscape. It's bonkers, isn't it? And what a day for it. I wish I put a short sleeve jersey on there.
I'm not sure we're going to get the KOM today, mate.
No, I blame the filming.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with
I know.
our tempo and camping gear. We might have just done the longest climb in the British Isles, Mark, but this flat bit around the peninsula, which is actually not flat at all.
Nobody talks about it.
No, it's really taken out of my legs. All these little ramps that I'm getting excited and like trying to dance my way up like a bikepacking Marco Pantani. And actually, I think I'm going to come well unstuck in a minute.
I know, we're going to feel it tomorrow for sure. This was part of my training ride in the build up to the World, and the coastline of the UK or Britain was tougher than almost anywhere I can think of in the world. Just because of this, just constant.
Yeah. I've got a lot to learn about ultra endurance riding, Mark, and I think one of them revolves around lunch. So 200 Ks under the belt, 40 Ks to go. You can probably tell by this beautiful golden light that it's well into the evening, isn't it? And I don't know about you, I'm feeling pretty tired now. That's been amazing, but tough. So can you perk me up, Mike? What have we got to look forward to now? Downhill, tailwind, all the way to Port U?
We've definitely done the tough stuff. It's not flat, but we're back. We're off the single track now.
Okay.
And we're kind of going due north now-ish. It's a beautiful stretch. It's all beautiful. I mean, that last bit by Torridon, I know you were looking forward to it, and it didn't disappoint.
No, it didn't. My word, it didn't disappoint. But I guess, yeah, off the single track onto really busy roads. Yeah. That'd be fine. We've only got 2 days of this to go, and the last day is only an extra 50 miles.
Let's just get in before we need to use lights.
See you in a bit.
long golden hour, huh? Oh yeah, look at that.
First day.
Wednesday night is Stovies night. What's that, mate?
Stovies?
Yeah, what's that?
You'll enjoy Stovies.
Yeah?
Proper Scottish meal.
There we go. 150 miles in the bank.
Pretty much on the button.
Yeah.
The sun has just set over that way, over the islands, and yeah, what a beautiful first day.
Unbelievable, unbelievable. I'm glad it's ended, if I'm honest, but that was one of the best days riding that I've ever had.
And I'm glad that we're not camping tonight, although it would be an epic night to camp. But I think because it was quite a gritty first day, a meal in the bed won't hurt.
There's a suggestion there that tomorrow's going to be easier. I hope so. I hope so.
It's just as beautiful, if that helps.
Is it? That does help.
Yeah.
That does help.
All right.
Right, Stovies, whatever they are, I'm going to eat them. Given that we are camping wild tonight, I thought it'd be a good opportunity to talk you through the kit that I've got, just very briefly. There's a full video over on the tech channel as well. Now, back here, this is where I've got my sleeping bag, my bivvy bag, and my mat. And then Apogee have sent this monster frame bag here, which is wicked. So I've got a camelback in there, which is upsetting some of the purists, I know, but it's pretty good. And then I've also got tools, I've got riding clothes, and I've got some food in there. Then up top, I got phone, charger, and a little bit more food. And then this one, the handlebar bag, this is where I've got a warm jacket and my one pair of pants, among a few other items of clothing. Now, this was hiding in my handlebar bag yesterday, but feels appropriate, seeing as we're camping out tonight, to rock the dangle mug, much to Mark's disgust. Never mind. Day 2, we now have just 560 kilometers to go. As you can see, we're going to have to contend with slightly worsened weather today. There's a gentle breeze as well as blazing sunshine. So anyway, Mark, what is in store for us on the route?
Right, so crack on up the northwest of Scotland, so through places like Ullapool, Durness, so the top left corner, and make it as far along the north coast of Scotland as we can. Last night we gave it some good chat about an early start.
Yeah, no, this is my bad influence. We're way later than we should do. By the way, I did have Stovies last night, which was not what I was expecting. It's like a stew, like a lamb and potato and carrot stew, but it was very good.
Proper Scottish fare.
Yeah, let's see how it actually
fuels
performs for me today. Yeah, but anyway, there you go. Stovies was lovely. Right, shall we?
Let's ride.
Will I get your seal of approval, Mark?
We've been distracted. We are chasing time here, but there's seals sunning themselves on the beach down there in the rocks, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, we're not allowed to stop for long lunch breaks, but we are allowed to stop for seal breaks. So.
there's some swimming further out as well. You get quite a lot of dolphins around here as well.
Awesome. Love it. I'm not going to lie, this morning, Mark, I was a little bit nervous about the fact that would today be able to match yesterday, and actually I think it's even better.
Well, I think when everyone talks about the North Coast 500, they get stuck on talking about the Bialik, the Applecross Pass.
Yeah.
But there's just so much more. This West Coast is just, it gets quieter and quieter.
Yeah.
You know, more and more beautiful. I love it up here.
Cut! First one in half an hour.
3 days is punchy.
There's been a few spots today where I just thought, you know what, wouldn't it be nice to just sit down and just chill out by a stream or a river or on a beach, sit and watch some seals maybe. And that is the trouble when you set yourself a target of a certain amount of mileage every day, that involves 9.5, 10 hours in the saddle does leave a little bit less time for faffing. And so if you're going to do this as a holiday, you'd want to factor in some serious faff time, I think, wouldn't you?
I think if you do it in 3 days, you've got to be willing for a bit of a sufferfest.
Yeah, yeah. Whose idea was it to do it in 3 days? Seriously. Made it to Ullapool, which is sadly only a third of the way through today, and I say sadly because it feels like those are 50 hard-earned miles.
We've worked for it.
I
was kind of thinking it was going to be quite cruisy, but it was properly lumpy and properly windy.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got sore legs, and but not sore in a kind of fatigued way. I've got sore in like I've got a sore left Achilles and a sore right knee, which is a bit weird, but when thinking about it, we've done 15 hours of riding in the last day and a half, which is 5 times my normal weekly average. So yeah.
And it's punchy. I mean, this morning's ride would be a good training ride, full stop. And it's our warm-up for the day.
Yeah, that said, we did have an amazing tailwind for the last 20 Ks or so, which boosted morale. We're just about to hit your stealth route as well, aren't you? The deviation from the traditional NC 500.
Yeah, so this was my idea to try and take us off. I mean, it's not exactly busy, but take us off the roads that the camper, I mean, it's van life up here, isn't it? I mean, we are passing, the only other people really on the route are people who are up here having an amazing time with their families. And
well, yeah, and if it turns out it's an absolute nightmare of sweat and toil, we've got it on record that it was your idea.
Yeah, no, this is absolutely on me. So that was 20 minutes, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Mark, fist bump for your extra route. That was unreal.
It worked.
That was amazing.
I'm relieved because that was a step into the unknown. But I'm not just saying this, but that's one of my favourite rides in the UK now. We're back onto the official North Coast 500 route, and this bit north of Loch Inver, in my humble opinion, is the real kick in the... It's pretty punchy. I call it the shark's tooth. Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to lie, I've steered clear of looking at any kind of stats from the day. I'm just following the map screen, but I did have a quick peek. See, we've nearly got just 100 Ks to go for the day. So once we've done that, and once we've gone through the shark's teeth, which sound great, then hopefully it'll just be a gentle cruise.
And we've just heard that there's a dude somewhere ahead running, and you know, allegedly he's doing 50 to 70 miles a day.
Yeah, so he's basically running at half our speed and covering half our distance, which is pretty impressive, isn't it? Oh wow, look at this road! Ah! I'm in a dark place. A very dark place. These are more like dragon's teeth, not shark's teeth. I don't think I've ever had to try so hard for a kilometre on a road bike in my life.
We're like 3 miles an hour up there.
Yeah. I think we've got 5k to go, Mark, until we get
back onto the main road.
The main road.
It's absolutely brutal. I remember this is tough.
Yeah.
But, you know, memories fade.
We have just ticked past 100 miles for the day, which means we have just ticked past halfway around the NC 500.
That's true, 250 miles.
Yeah.
But
not that much time left to get back to Inverness.
That is the heart locker, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, considering this is a 3-day challenge and it's 20 to 5 on day 2 and we're halfway. Let's keep going.
You said it's all downhill with a tailwind from here, I think.
We're at the top of Scotland. We've reached Durness, which is a pretty big milestone, obviously a turning point. We're now heading across the top of Scotland.
Yeah, this has been a tough old day. As you can see, the sun is setting behind us. We've got 12 kilometres left to go until our kind of milestone of 240k for the day, which, given that we're sleeping in a hedge, is kind of an arbitrary figure, but both of us are fairly target oriented, so I don't think we're going to stop until we get there. But anyway, we stopped at a shop back there. We've got our food for tonight, so I'm just looking at every grassy verge going and thinking how nice it's going to be to curl up and go to sleep.
And you guys enjoy your hotel.
Yeah, the crew are going to leave us to it in just a moment. Right then, we've got 245k on the clock. The last 5k was spent scoping a place to camp for the night. Mark thinks he's spotted it, so we're going to go check it out. Should we do it? Right then, that is the crew now officially leaving us. There you go. See you later, dudes. It's been a long day, a long old day, but their hotel is keeping them some fish and chips back. Even though, what time is it now, mate? It's about 9:15. Right then, better get some tent up for Mark. I'm in a bivvy bag. Thanks, Josh Ibbott. Right, Mark's on the spotlight now. How long is it going to take?
Being a big cheat.
Well, to be fair, you've carried it, and it hasn't seemed to have taken up very much room.
No, it's the same size as a bivvy bag.
Yes.
It's 700 grams.
That was a slightly sobering thing that Mark pointed out, was that my bivvy bag effectively weighs exactly the same as his tent. So, anyway. Right, it is now officially the end of day 2 of the North Coast 500. It's 10 o'clock, I'm in my bivvy bag, ready to sleep. Had plenty to eat, plenty to drink. We're going to need it, because tomorrow is going to be an epic day. The alarm is set for 6. We're going to roll out soon after, because there's no easy way to do 200 miles. And if the wind is in the same direction it was today, it's going to be considerably harder. So yeah, keep your fingers crossed. Mark, how you feeling, mate, about tomorrow?
Tip top. Nah, it's another day. Let's get a good night's sleep. I think we'll try and roll out about 6.
All right, mate, sleep tight.
Sleep tight.
Over and out. Are there any wolves in Scotland?
No.
Bears?
No.
Okay. Right then, day 3 of the North Coast 500 starts here at 6:15 in the morning. Morning, mate.
Good morning.
Let's do it. Right then, what time is it? A little bit of faffing done this morning, and I think it's about 10 to 7. Man, we did some serious faffing. All right, see you in a sec. Let's ride.
Well, we have just emerged from second breakfast. It's now 9 in the morning, so we're pretty much on our normal schedule, but we have at least covered 28 kilometres already in an astonishing 1 hour and 22 minutes. So we're flying this morning, it's fair to say, isn't it, Mark?
It's not for a lack of trying.
No,
I mean, genuinely, we're quite, I don't know, we're quite up for it because we've got a massive ride today, but there's a few lumps and bumps. Well, I know for a fact it flattens out a little bit further east, and we just need the wind to behave itself so we can get back to Inverness before tomorrow.
Man, I'm on my knees, but at least it's the last day.
Yeah, it hurts. Oh. Oh.
Looks still got me on the hills. Ooh. Hopefully it'll start to flatten out pretty soon. Feeling good, mate?
Yeah.
You still got the legs?
Wow.
KOM.
I have at the minute. I was just thinking as I was pottering up there, that I'm going to pay for that later.
No, it's good. That's the post-breakfast energy kicking in.
It's remarkable what 3 cups of coffee and a couple of sausages will do.
Hi there, you alright?
Yeah, I'm alright. Hello.
What kept you? Oh, good, well, really
fair
well.
play
Yeah.
to you. My word.
Yourself, you good, well?
How are you doing?
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, up and down. Literally, metaphorically.
Which
Yeah.
day are you on?
So how many miles are you running each day?
Well, the biggest day was 69.
Wow.
That was the first one, and then it's been around 54, 55. You know, obviously, given the given the circumstances, west of Ross and the VLAC and all that. I mean, God, yeah.
It's absolutely phenomenal. I take
Yeah,
my
but
hat
I
off
have
to
got a
you.
bit of experience in running. So I started running in '92, and I did ultras since '94.
Where are you sleeping every night? You got the van?
Well, actually, the crew stayed in the van. I sleep in the back of the car. So, the back of a car, yeah. So,
Wow,
so
fair
they've
play
got
to
the white VW van. No, I did start off in there, but it didn't really work out. So.
you. Best of luck for
Yeah, thank you very much.
for the last little bit. We're going to make the most of being on bikes on the descent.
Yeah, good on you.
Right, cheers, all the best.
Yeah,
Thank you
okay.
very much for talking to us.
Yeah, and yeah, enjoy the rest of the road. Thanks, guys.
Cheers. What, dude? Right, let's do it.
We're now heading fast towards the east coast, and it's a big contrast to that sort of rugged heather hills and craggy rocks of the west. But the road that we've just turned onto is again one of my deviations, because I've never cycled down here, but I thought, looking at the map, that it'd be a nice way to avoid the A9. And you know, if we can find a beautiful route that links back to Inverness, still on the button in terms of 500 miles, and it does a loop of the north coast, that would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, and you can tell by the amount of gravel down the middle that this is definitely a path less travelled. Right, well it feels like we've rejoined civilization slightly in that this is the A9. That also means, woohoo, we've reached another coast. That is the North Sea over there. We've got 4.9 Ks of the A9 now, and then Mark's stealth route has us going off to the right onto goodness knows what roads. But if they're half as good as the ones we've just been on, high fives all round. Almost makes me slightly forget the fact I've got 190 kilometres left to go. Although, probably about 160 if you minus the Black Isle. reached a mini milestone, in my head at least, of 120 k's to go, so we've just stopped off to get a much needed brew. And we've bumped into Jenny Graham, who is the women's round the world record holder. So astonishingly, I have the women's round the world record holder on one side and the men's round the world record holder on the other. So Jenny, great to see you. You did 124 days self-supported.
Yeah, so just carried everything I needed with me to fix myself, fix my bike, sleep at night. Yeah.
So how does training in the north of Scotland set you up for, I don't know, Russia and all the amazing places?
Well, I actually thought, oh, nowhere is going to throw me after training in the Highlands of Scotland.
To be fair, that's what I think,
winter.
Jenny.
I was like,
I agree.
It's like, I knew it was going to be winter in Australia, but I was like, what, like, Australians don't know about winter, and oh my god, it absolutely had me. It was so cold out there and so wet, and I was like, oh yeah, it's not just in the Highlands.
Wow, all right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Right, left turn. 120k to go. Come on!
Mark?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Well done, matey.
Yeah, and you, man. That was some ride.
It was huge.
Yeah.
3-day North Coast 500 with a twist.
With a twist. One of genuinely the greatest rides I've ever done. So thank you very much for taking us round.
We got lucky with the weather, but it's a beautiful route.
I thought it was always like that.
Yeah, well, finished with like a 40 kilometer time trial in the dark, which was fun.
Big thanks to Mark for taking us around the North Coast 500. Give this video a big thumbs up if you have enjoyed it, and make sure you check out the video on the tech channel where I talk you through my bike and the kit that I've used for this.
Adventure, discovery, a remote location, and me, a seasoned, unprofessional bikepacker hungry for some more. So when I heard that my mate Mark had planned a 3-day bikepacking trip across Patagonia, well, as you can imagine, I was all over it.
Have you packed light? Are you ready for this?
I think I'm ready. I'm just getting used to these bags.
Yeah.
But
so
getting there.
I've done a couple of endurance rides with this this speed demon recently, one through France and one through England, so I thought we'd go epic this time and actually pack our tents and all our kit.
I have to say though, what an incredible destination!
Pretty cool, isn't it?
Right, you ready?
I left Bonnie, Scotland in the rain, and it's stunning. It's summer down here.
I can't wait, I'm excited. Let's do this.
Patagonia is the southernmost tip of South America. It's a region without clearly defined borders, spanning both the countries of Chile and Argentina. On its western side, it has the tail end of the Andes Mountains, and on its eastern side, a frigid desert of pampas and grasslands. There is no destination that captures the imagination like this one. A land of breathtaking beauty, filled with volcanoes, towering glaciers, and remote plains. Patagonia, for me, is absolute heaven. For this trip, our mates over at BMC have luckily kitted us out with a new specific gravel bike complete with new Shimano GRX 1x. And you might already notice that we're not wearing our usual GCN kit. Altura have been kind enough to sort us out with some of theirs. We have made our way to Temuco, which sits just over 400 miles south of Santiago. Our plan is to jump in the vehicles here and head to Panypui, where we are going to start our adventure from. We have pre-planned our routes on Camus, and there is a total of 322.8 kilometers that we are going to tackle. We have got 5,024 meters of climbing, but luckily we have split the ride into 3 days. Our first day is going to take us from Panypui to Puerto Foy. To get there, we are going to hug the shore of the Lago Panypui. And we may even get our first look at a volcano. And our first day, it's a short one. It's 63.3 kilometers, which I'm quite happy about.
It feels so surreal. I was just saying, it's like being in the middle of Jurassic Park. Somewhat, yeah, I kind of have to picture myself. I'm in Patagonia.
This genuinely feels like being plonked on the other side of the planet.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Not just have we gone from winter riding to summer riding, but you know, it's a true wilderness down here. For those that haven't been to Patagonia before, well, I guess, you know, this is your first impression.
It's totally, yeah.
It's pretty empty. The sun's already dipped below the mountains. Sunset's officially not till about 9 o'clock, but you can still see it sort of kissing the upper snowy peaks of the volcano ahead of us. That's pretty awesome. Oh, what a welcome to Patagonia.
What a welcome.
Well, we've ended up having a seriously long day's travel. Flew into Santiago this afternoon, got an internal flight south, got on our bikes and madly sort of pedalled inland. It's now dark, as you can see, and near a little place called Puerto Foy. And in the morning we have to get the ferry, the boat, across the island. But hey, it's fun. Got to set up tents that I've never set up before in the dark. This thing weighs less than 700 grams, which is insane. Perfect for bike packing. Oh, that's a good idea. How do you do that? Go up through that.
Oh, look at that.
How are you going to pump it up?
Today we have planned a route which takes us over the Argentinian border, weaving through some supposedly mind-blowing scenery of lakes, mountains and forests. We are hoping to end up 76 kilometers later in a town called Quina. Before we ride though, given that we're on the shores of Lake Lago Pirueco, we're going to start with a boat trip. The plan is to catch the 9 AM ferry, which will take us across the lake. So we better get a move on, because otherwise it's going to be a long, long swim.
So I'm just looking over there at 2 volcanoes. On the left,
you've got Mocho, and you know that because it's got a flat top. And then to your right, you've got Chiswenko. They look incredible, and they're just in that snow cap. But the interesting thing about that snow cap is in the last 23 years, that's just under my lifetime, that snow cap's been reduced by 40%.
When we get off the ferry, we're going to only have about 10 kilometers to the Argentinian border, and from there drop down and actually meet up with Pablo, one of the guys who I was climbing with the last time I was here, and hopefully he's going to show us some amazing trails on the gravel bikes when we get to Argentina.
Here we go.
10K to Argentina.
10K to the border. What a trip that was, though. Right, we are headed straight on. First bit of gravel, and I love it. Just touched down in Moy de Foy, off the ferry. And now we've got 73 kilometers of gravel, but we're hitting the Argentinian border in about 12K. So passport ready, in my little Shimano bag here that luckily Shimano sorted me out with.
If people watching have never cycled across a border crossing, there's something about it, isn't there? I mean, I know it's just another meter, another mile, but it's pretty cool riding your bike across a border. We're so used to flying into a new country, but...
Yeah, I was just going to say, because I've never done it before.
You've never...
That's the first time I've cycled through a border.
In Europe, I guess you have.
No, I haven't
Not even
in Europe, no. For the gears, I got a 40 tooth on the front, and I got a 42 on the back. And I'm gonna let you into the secret. I have actually used the 42 already. Steep little sharp.
There's some good terrain.
Kickers, aren't there?
Good terrain.
Halfway through our second day, we stumbled across the most incredible little beach, and a great opportunity to tell you a bit about what kit we are using. Although there is a more detailed video over on the tech channel if you fancy some details.
Let's start off with the bike. This is BMC's new gravel bike, the BMC URS. URS is short for unrestricted, which pretty much sums up where Mark and I have been riding. But you probably don't want to see it with fully kitted up. You want to see the bike, don't you? So I guess I should get all these bags off. BMC say this bike comes at 8.3 kilograms, which is pretty light. And added to that, this bike's got some really cool features that lead more towards the adventure gravel rider. This is known as the MTT, the micro travel technology that BMC have integrated into this URS frame. BMC first introduced this technology on the Team Elite XC mountain bike, and it adds an additional layer of comfort to the bike. It gives you just 10 millimeters of suspension travel, but it's significant enough to take the edge off bumps and is also designed to help with traction on rough and loose trails. Now, Shimano has also helped us out on this trip of a lifetime here in Patagonia, and they've also got us their new GRX group set. So I'm using the RX800 electronic Di2 version. Now, a lot of you bikepackers out there will be shaking your heads at the thought of me taking electronic gears out on an adventure. But to be honest, with the tech proven over the last 10 years, I am not concerned. And Mark Beaumont has told me that he rode the length of Africa using Di2.
While taking a minute to check out our bikepacking kit, we also had a quick pit stop for lunch before meeting Pablo. Now, Pablo is Mark's old friend from previous visits back 10 years ago.
I'm Hank, good to meet you. Give me a hug. Nice to meet you, man.
Mark. Hey, buddy. How are you?
So many years.
It's been a while. Are you well?
Very well, very
Good.
well. I'm ready for the
bumps.
Trail.
Pablo has planned his short detour, which brings in some of the best local single track riding in the area before ending the night at his place with an asado, a traditional Argentine barbecue.
Careful there.
I think the Strictly judges would give that a 4. You okay, mate?
Well,
how was your run?
I punctured.
I know you punctured.
On the last single track, and I realised you got all the inner tubes. So, what an absolute ride. That was amazing. I'm sorry I didn't come in with you,
An
bro.
amazing day. Well, sorry for leaving you out
Someone's
there.
got to come last. No, but I need to get one. You sure?
That's karma for I'm getting smoke in my eye for leaving you out there.
I know.
Oh well, well
Cheers,
done,
buddy. What a ride.
It was just a test.
That was incredible.
Harder than I thought, but I'm so impressed with what those bikes can do. And the fact that you punctured on the
last little bit.
On the last bit.
At least I got time to fix it now. Yep. We're not staying in there. Back to my trusty little tent. Not that quickly.
For our last day, we're starting it with a wicked boat trip across the lake before starting our biggest day yet. It's one we are both pretty nervous about. It's 183 kilometers across gravel, tarmac, and single track. This will be a true test of both our handling and our fitness.
There you go.
Well, if you'd asked me a few days ago when I was in Scotland that I'd be looking for shade, it's actually quite nice to get out of that
hot out there,
midday
isn't it?
sun. I'll admit to a bit of bikepacking cheating going on here because we nabbed a bit of the amazing spread that the Argentinian family put on for us last night. And so stuff you wouldn't normally have on a bikepacking trip. James here's got some of the leftover lamb, beautiful. I've got some cheese. Again, that wouldn't travel too well if you were going particularly far, but this is the business. We've had an awesome morning. We're onto more like open gravel tracks, and somewhere down the road we're going to find tarmac, but spot lunch.
With the remaining 100 kilometers to ride and the border crossing into Argentina closing at 8 p.m, me and Mark had to really crack on to make sure we hit it. Well, because otherwise we'll be spending the night on the side of the road, so the pressure is definitely on.
Kilometers to the border. Let's do this. Well done, buddy. Woo! Hola. I didn't realize quite how close to the volcano we were going to get. It is there.
Well, I guess we made it to the border just in time.
3 days of unforgettable bike packing. I knew it'd be good. I didn't know it would be that good.
Yeah, for me, it's been an absolute ride of a lifetime, and there's so many points that I've just absolutely loved. Massive thank you to Pablo and your buddies for showing us some insane single track.
Yeah, Gonza. To be fair, the crew who've been filming this have done a superb job. It's been a proper adventure in the true sense of the word.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to know what your biggest bike packing adventure is. Remember to leave a comment below and hopefully give this a massive thumbs up.
Yeah, and a massive thank you to BMC and Shimano for making this video possible. If you guys are hungry for some more adventure bike packing videos, then make sure you click on our bikes. Mate, we need to eat these.
Hopefully there's a 10 from here and we'll get locked up if we don't eat our fruit, so let's
We've got to eat them quick. Sun's going down as well.
Cheers.
Cheers, dude.
Hold on.
Another adventure in the bag, boom.